Good morning watch folk. Now welcome to the first YouTube review done on this watch in English. Now whilst this watch is no longer in production, it's worth noting that there are still a few around and can be bought for a bargain price, but we're going to get to that later. I've lost count of the Victorinox watches I've had over the years, and I've even had a 39mm Infantry up to about 6 months ago. I was kind of in two minds whether I should have sold it or not, and I think I regret it. Now this one came up on eBay a short while ago and I couldn't help myself. Now because this is a few years old, you may see a few nicks on it. Now I should mention at this point that I've heard different pronunciations of the name Victorinox or Victorino or Victorino or Victorinox. Now I'm sure most of you know that Victorinox are famed for their Swiss Army knives, as well as high quality chef's knives. In fact, I carry a small Swiss Army knife on my keyring, which I've had for over 40 years and is still going strong. Now I will draw a direct comparison with Hamilton in both price and quality, and of course both are Swiss made. And welcome to my unpaid and unsponsored review of the Victorinox Infantry, reference 241518. One of the first things that drew me to this watch was the nice set of compact dimensions. The case is 38mm, the lug width is 20mm, the lug to lug is just 44.5mm, and the depth is just 11mm. One of the first things that drew me to this watch was the nice set of compact dimensions. The case is 38mm, the lug width is 20mm, the lug to lug is 44. One of the first things that drew me to this watch was the nice set of compact dimensions. The case is 38mm, the lug width is 20mm, the lug to lug is just 44.5mm, and the depth is 11mm. On a strap it weighs about 71 grams. Unfortunately I can't show you the case because I bought this watch without one. As a result I got it a bit cheaper, so there's a lesson for you, never throw away the box. Anyway, I've downloaded a picture of the box, so here it is. Oh, and having owned several of these watches in the past, I can assure you that the quality of the packaging is very good. And this is my watch of the day. It's the Mitch Mason Chronicle. It's a 37mm sports watch that actually wears a little bit larger because of the case size. And isn't it lovely? 5.5mm crown is signed and is a push-pull. You may read on some spec sheets that this has got a screw down crown, but it hasn't. Now it does operate the movement perfectly. As you would expect, it's very well knurled. Inside the heart of this little beauty is an ETA 2824. This surprises me as the Swatch Group really let these movements go to third parties. Those of you in the know will be aware that there are endless clones of this movement, but this is the original, and what's more, it costs a lot more. It's a high beat calibre that ticks away at 28,800 beats per hour. It hacks and it hand winds. Regulated correctly, these can be extremely accurate, and they've got very good positional variance. Now the power reserve is only 38 hours, but for me that's plenty enough. Now let's see what the time grapher thinks of it. A dial up, this is how the watch arrived. A great amplitude, an excellent beat error, but it is running a little bit slow, so I'm going to regulate it. Now there we are, 5 minutes later, that's much better. Now it's got flat sapphire crystal. I'm not sure if it's got any AR coating, and I suspect it hasn't. Now the case is made of stainless steel with a gunmetal finish. I've never had this finish on a watch before, so only time will tell if I can learn to appreciate it. Considering it's a utility watch though, I suppose that makes perfect sense. Now what's interesting is this small platform where the crown sits. As it isn't a crown guard as such, and it's probably intended to make adjustment easier. Well, that's my theory anyway. It's very nicely shaped and it fits to the back of my wrist perfectly. Now it's got an exhibition case back, but that's actually made of mineral crystal rather than sapphire. There's some basic information printed around the outside, and it screws down for its 100 metres of water resistance. Now this dial is very detailed. So here I go. Firstly, it's listed as being a black dial, but in my opinion it's dark grey, which I actually find very pleasing. The chapter ring has minute markers painted on it, as well as loom pips above each hour marker. Next we have a textured layer with bold applied indices, leading to a smooth inner circle with painted indices representing hours from 13 to 24. The top index is the Victorinox symbol, and there is a white date window at the 3. Under the 12 o'clock it reads Victorinox, and beneath it it says Swiss Army. Above the 6 o'clock it simply reads Automatic. In very small writing either side of the 6 o'clock it reads Swiss Army. I'm not sure how to describe the hands, as they're a cross between Dauphine and sword. As well as the pips on the chapter ring, the hands and the indices have an application of C3 loom. The loom on the actual indices doesn't last long, but the pips and the hands last all night and will match up to most dive watches. This is by far the best loom I've ever had on a Victorinox watch. This watch came on this dark grey leather strap, also listed as being black. These are quite stiff when they're new, but they're very good quality and they'll have a good life expectancy. However, when I ordered this, it was my intention to put it on a brown strap, leaving the dial with black. But in my opinion, brown straps don't go well with grey dials. I'm now debating whether to keep this on the original strap or put it on this NATO. Please tell me what you think below. So the price and value for money. Well, the full price when released was over $900, but I very much suspect anybody ever paid that. The cheapest price I've seen is in Joma's shop and it went for $299, but they don't have any stock. Now if you look around you'll probably pick one up new for about £400, that's about $475, which for a quality Swiss watch with an ETA movement is very good. As it happens, I picked this one up used from an eBay seller for a very good price, but like I said, it had no box or papers. Now the watch is about 4 years old, and although it's got little wear, for that reason I have no idea if there are any QC issues, but I doubt there were. As far as dislikes, well, I think the date window should have been colour matched, and I would have preferred a nice engraved caseback. Neither of these things really bother me that much though. So what's nice about the watch? I particularly like the dimensions, and I have to say I think the gunmetal finishing may well grow on me in time. The loom is excellent, and I love the green indices. The dial is fascinating, especially considering it's a utility watch, but the star of the show is that ETA movement. So in summary, many watch manufacturers would refer to this as a field watch, and there are endless field watches to be bought. Oh, I know, I bought loads of them. This, however, is a little bit different, and that's what drew me to it. To be honest, until I saw this, I wasn't even looking for a watch. So if you are looking for one of these, don't forget there aren't that many of these hanging around now. I'm sure by now you presumed I like this, and I most certainly do. Now that brings me to the end of this review. So if you've enjoyed it, please click on the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave your comments below, and enjoy the rest of your day.